is these two words, which is I am. I am can make or break your life. I am, and whatever you put after that, can make your future or completely break your future. What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. On this video, I want to talk to you guys about limiting self-beliefs. Now, over the years of coaching so many people and from my own experiences in life, I've seen how many people could have gotten so far and failed or only reached small successes in life because of limiting self-beliefs. And I myself was constricted for a long time until I could unbrainwash my mind from the things that were embedded in me or the things that I spoke about to myself inside my own head. So self-beliefs come in two different forms, okay? I'm not gonna go into crazy detail in this video. I wanna make it short and sweet and get to the point so I can get you guys to get a little bit of self-awareness to be able to accomplish your goals and live the life that you want. But the two forms of self-belief come, one through adolescence and through community and family. So these are things that are embedded in us from childhood, from what our parents tell us, our community, where we grew up, our ethnicity, our religions. And these, I think for most people, once they come to a certain age as a mature adult, they come to terms and understand that these have been embedded inside of them, and they have to face the choice of making the changes and going into the direction that their mind and soul and conscious really wants to, compared to what everybody else around them expects them to do. So for example, you know, you can grow up into a family full of academics, and everybody in there is lawyers, doctors, CPAs, professors, engineers, and they want to push you down that road because that's what they know, that's what they believe is success, that's what they feel safe in. And you might be very talented in art, you might be very talented in music, you might be very talented in sports, you might be very talented with people when you want to go into events, you want to go into cinema, you want to go into music, you want to go into food and beverage. You've got other aspirations, but they're going to keep you limited because they're trying to keep you in that bubble that they feel safe in, or at least what they believe is the right path. So these limit a lot of people in life. And you know, I always use the analogy with people that I coach just to break the ice and make them feel like everybody's going through it and it's not them alone. And I always say this story that when I was younger and I was running around on the streets crazy, messing with 1,000 girls, I could have came home with a 6'6" transvestite, and my mother would have been saying to me, you gotta marry him, you gotta settle down, you can't be running out at night, we're worried about you. And it's a joke, but it's the truth, because the people around you are thinking with their mentality and their experiences and their fears for the most part. And they just instill that into you because they don't know any better. A lot of times, we are making decisions based on everybody else in our world, what people are going to think, if we're going to be criticized, if we're going to tax them because we take along our family or our intimate partner or our children on that journey, and we're afraid to fail and have that regret and that remorse, or have them say to us, you know, I told you so. So that's the one form of limited self-belief. The second one, which I believe is the worst of them, because this is one that you battle with 24 hours a day and carries with you for life. And no matter how good at it you get, you have to change the forms of how you speak to yourself, because you have to change with the situations in life that you have faced in front of you. So as you try to thrive and go through the maturing stages in life, could be through business, could be through relationships, could be through parenting, multiple different scenarios, you have to change the way you speak to yourself so that you can be able to actually live out that role that you're trying to portray. So the belief system adjusts as you go. And one of the most dangerous limiting beliefs is these two words, which is I am. I am can make or break your life. I am, and whatever you put after that, can make your future or completely break your future. The reason why these I am statements are so dangerous if you use them incorrectly is because you literally identify your life and your actions with these limited self-beliefs. You're constricting the process that you can make because you literally base these scenarios that are unforgiving and unfixable if you keep speaking to yourself that way. When I hear people say to me, I'm bad with money, I say, don't say that you are bad with money. Rephrase that in your mind, rephrase the dialect and say, I have a tendency to be irresponsible with my finances, and it's something that I need to work on. Some people will say, I am an anxious person. Any situation that they put themselves into, they're already building up that anxiety. Rephrase it and say, I have a tendency to be uncomfortable around strangers or large groups of people, and it's something that I need to work on. Everything is fixable. There's no trait that is guaranteed stuck on anybody for life. Anybody can have all the good and go opposite and go negative, and anybody can have a bunch of negatives and turn good and go positive all the way up by just rephrasing and then changing the habits and the actions. A lot of times in my world, it's labels put on people that limit them with their mindset, their health, their nutrition. And they'll say to me, like, for example, I'm Greek and well, I'm Greek or I'm Lebanese, and we finish everything at the table, and we can't say no if someone offers us dessert or made a special recipe and we have to. And I say to them, are you happy with the way you look? Are you happy with the way you feel? Are you happy with the direction that your life is going with your health? If not, you can't use this self-limiting belief of I am something which is not serving you. It's causing you to regress in life. So you have to be very, very careful how you speak to yourself in your mind with the I ams, because that is a path that just you end up actually, before you try to do anything, you start putting these I ams, these labels on you, and you never, ever, ever get to the potential that you can, because anything that anyone else has done, you can do, I can do. It's just habits implemented consistently with good effort until you become exceptionally well at those simple things, okay? Other limiting self-beliefs is labels that you put on yourself as a pressure or to not be accountable, or they've been put on you from the outside, which kind of a mix of the both, from your environment and also you speaking to yourself. So I'll be trying to help somebody, for example, and they'll say to me, well, I am a mom. So what does that mean now? Because you are a mother and parenting is one part of your life, and you are a wife, you don't have an identity anymore. Like, your health doesn't matter, your goals, your vision, your feelings, what you want to express. So these things that we say simply to ourselves or we hear around us in our communities, in our everyday life, are very limiting to how far we can get, because it just becomes a normal thing of just being unaccountable through ourselves and not having to actually face doing something or actually going through that process. Because a lot of times, and I'm telling this from my own story, from my own experience, it's a lot easier to say, I woulda, shoulda, coulda. I really wanted to do this, but I couldn't have because I was stuck in this situation, or stuck with this person, or stuck in that place, or it wasn't the right time. So you have to change the dialect of how you speak to yourself, how you phrase things, and you'll be able to get much further in life. The second thing that I want to add to that is superstitions and crutches, okay? A lot of people are super limited because of these thoughts, of these behaviors that have to be done, okay? Which are very, very limited. I try to help people that don't need to go to a gym, okay? They don't need to have 50 pieces of equipment. They don't need to become a professional bodybuilder. They need to be able to build some stability and a good relationship with their food and their appearance with some effort through better recipes at home, a little bit more activity, a little bit of some exercise. And they'll say to me things like, I can't exercise at home. That's my place of peace. And I'll say, well, what if there's no gyms? Or what if it's too far? Or what if the times that you're, have allotted for you to be able to go to the gym because of kids and work and all this stuff, it's so busy and you lose 4 hours out of your life to drive on the highway, park, change, share machines, and then get home for a 30-minute workout that you could have done at home. It's going to limit you. Or other people will say things like, I can't study unless I'm in a quiet coffee shop. Well, you could have all the talent and all the SATs in the world. I can study on a plane. I can study in the back of an Uber. I can study in a loud gym in between sessions of coaching. I can study while my wife is watching TV next to me. So whatever you think you got going for you, because I don't have that limited self-belief, I'm going to kick your ass at whatever we're competing for in life. So I want everybody out there to be able to really just have some self-awareness and understand of the way that you speak to yourself. And when you're setting goals in life, or just trying to look at your life as a whole and saying, am I really living the best version of my purpose, of what I want to give and what I want to receive in life, and really think about those self-beliefs that you have instilled in you from your community, from your family, from your workplace, even from your partner sometimes, and also what you speak to yourself inside of your mind, because it can be completely detrimental, and it's a habit that gets carried into other factors into life, because how we do one thing is how we do everything. So the whole point of this video is to get you to understand, how do you speak to yourself, and what's been spoken to you, what have you been taught is correct or right. I truly believe that there is no right or wrong in life when it comes to these views and values, no matter what ethnicity you come from, what religion you come from, what background, whatever your scenario is or whatever. Circumstances are never more powerful than the decisions and the actions that are taken afterwards. No circumstances can be stronger than the decisions and actions that you take after. You can give the best circumstances to somebody and they could completely screw that up. And we've seen that a million times over. And then you also see the success stories where somebody's got some pretty shitty circumstances and does so good in life. I've had rough starts, self-sabotaged myself. Those who know my story, it's pretty fucked up. But after all was said and done, and I could stop blaming, stop pointing fingers, stop giving reasons, stop giving blames, stop giving excuses, I had to look at myself. And that's where the real changes came, because it wasn't the obstacles on the outside. Then I had to start changing my own self-limited beliefs. And I'm still going through that process in life, because I'm trying to clean up 20 years of living one way and try to be able to configure that into the best of what I've done 20 years after that, and now planning for the next 20 years. And I was limiting myself completely, because I'm coming from a background from 10, 12, 15 hard years in and out of the street life. So I wouldn't be able to sit and speak to people if they weren't, on my level of man. So just because I can kick this guy's ass or he looks a certain way, he knows something that I don't know, because he's worth $100 million. He's got something to teach me. But because I won't sit at a table and eat with them because of my limited self-beliefs that I don't speak with people like this, or I don't hang out with people like this, I was constricting myself of how far I was getting in life. So be very, very self-aware of how you speak to yourself. Always be your own fucking cheerleader. Always root for yourself and always believe in yourself. Even when you make changes in life, even when you do good, even when you start progressing, you're not going to get patted on the back. And that's what people get discouraged from. And that's what gets them to start quitting sometimes, or turn around, or fear that people around them don't believe in them, are going to judge them, are going to criticize them, or wish them some sort of, bad ending when it comes to whatever that pursuit is. Because you got to really prove it. You got to really do it. Put your head down, show up 2 years later. You've done everything. You've become the person. You accomplished the goal. Show the world. You built the traits. You built the characteristics. Keep applying that to life and keep progressing, and don't worry about the outside. Some people are going to be happy for you, some are not, but you only get one journey in this world. You only get one trip. There's no taking it back and taking two like a movie. There's no replay. There's no second player like on a video game when you get shot and you get killed. You got one chance. You got to make the best of it, and you need to be an asset. Your brain needs to be an asset to yourself. It cannot be your own enemy. You can't be your own enemy. You got all these other issues on the outside with TV, media, stress, news, drama, family problems, in-laws, kids going through their phases through life. You've got, illnesses and sicknesses and aches that come along in life as you get older. You've got all these things on the outside that are going to be speed bumps and obstacles along your path. The last thing you want to do is be your own obstacle when you could be your own weapon. You could be your own weapon just by thinking different, believing different, and then that turns into actions, which gives you a different external life, okay? Your external world is going to be a reflection of your internal state. So you have to start thinking differently and speaking differently to yourself, and then matching it with actions, because thinking alone is not going to do too much without any proof of the pudding, as they say. You got to stack those wins on a daily basis. It becomes consistent, and then you become that person. You become that thought. You become that action. You become that replica of what you believe that you could achieve. So that's the end of that. Any of you guys, if you need any help with any coaching, all the info is in the bio for you to reach out to me. Stay positive, stay productive. Don't let anything or anyone take away the life that you want.